this business takes time, right? What I've learned was to make money 1 month versus making money consistently is two different skills. It's not even close. It's not even the same thing, right? And I think the skill you need to like if you want to make money consistently, that skill takes a longer time to acquire than to make money in 1 month. Like both me and Jared can go back to high ticket right now, launch a coaching offer, and boom, within 3 months we'll probably be doing half like over 100K a month, easy, right? And but we know it's gonna burn, it's gonna crash and burn. That's why we're in insurance. That's why we're looking to build something longer. It took me like 4 months to really even now, bro, like I'm still making so much mistake and I still feel like I'm just getting started. So it's definitely a very, very long game. And if you can't think past like a quarter, it's gonna be rough. So it's like when I got to insurance, I committed. Like that I can tell you that. Like it was like I'm making this work. Like, this is the business I'm looking to build a business long term here. Let me try see if it works. It probably won't work. So
Yeah.
if you go into the business with already that mindset, if you're one of those three people, I don't think this business is for you. I'm not saying you probably won't succeed, but objectively, from what I found, based on the people I brought on, you won't have the best time here for sure.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Stoked to have you guys here today. And I have a very special guest. We have Tony Lee here today. Tony, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going? I'm excited for this.
It's going well, guys. Tony, he has been in entrepreneurship for quite some time. We're going to get to learn about his entire journey and the success that he's been able to find from the high ticket space and marketing all the way into insurance at where he's at now, and looking at his journey, his pitfalls, and just some things that he's been able to really succeed on. And also an amazing journey of being able to become an American citizen. So I'm stoked to have you on here, Tony, and being able to dive in. If you want to get us started, like how old were you when you like first started entrepreneurship?
Well, first of all, this is good because this is my first podcast I've done ever since I became a citizen. Because I became a citizen like last year, April,
Yeah.
and kind of haven't done anything since. So it's cool. But I would say I got into entrepreneurship when I was 19. So 3 years ago, I'm 22 now, and I was in college at that point. That's when I got it.
Did you finish college? Were you halfway through college? What was that like?
So I went to A&M for a year and engineering. So, typical Asian move, right? It's pretty much either between engineering or becoming a doctor for me. So I was like, oh, doctor took a little bit too long. Let me become an engineer. And so we picked that route. And then from there, I can tell you the whole like short story, like catalyst on why I got into entrepreneurship. First year of college. So I think growing up, I was like obese. I just didn't like I don't think women was just not attractive to me. That was the issue, right?
Yeah.
It was obese. And then the first year in college, that was when I got in a relationship, got dumped after one semester. I was super sad and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go make some money. So that was the first initial reason of getting to entrepreneurship for me. Uh, but yeah, now I guess I finished my first year of college and then I dropped out my second year. So I only do 1 year and then that's when I started my own business my second
What
year.
was that like starting point or that flame that got you into entrepreneurship? Like what'd you find? Was it a book, podcast, or like someone that you met?
I would say, well, the initial thing was the breakup, and that didn't make me feel too good. So I got into the lucky thing is, I don't know, it's probably God that gave me the insight to get into self improvement because I think I could have easily gone the other route and just start having a bunch of fun. Right, but I didn't do that, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go into self improvement. And initially, I was watching a lot of Hamza. You might know Hamza,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
self improvement guy. And then from there, I discovered Iman Gotzi. So I think Iman was a guy that really got me into like, oh shoot, I can like make money online, right? So he introduced the whole agency game. So that was my first business when I first got into the business game was running an agency. So
What type of agency did you run?
lead gen. So my first one was marketing. So I was running like Facebook ads for local businesses. I did that. Well, that was my first business that got to $10,000 a month, right? I got to like 15, 17 grand a month in revenue. I mean, there was no expenses. It was just me doing the work. So I was
Yeah.
taking home like $12,000. I was 19. I was like, man, this is great. I was making
Yeah.
so much money in my mind. And that was the first business that kind of kickstart everything for me. And obviously, down the line, got into other businesses, but first one was lead gen.
From lead gen and you were kind of profiting everything. What made you want to like leave lead gen and like where did you go from there?
So I made a YouTube channel during that time. So it's a very, very ego driven decision when I made that YouTube channel because I was like, man, I want to be known, right? It was definitely not a smart decision. I but it worked. I got like 30,000 views in my first ever YouTube video. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just tell my story and boom.
Your YouTube channel, you kind of, had a very popular YouTube channel to what 39,000 views or something like that you were saying?
Yeah, so my first video was like I did 30,000 views with my first ever YouTube video. I think because the keyword SMMA was so massive back then. That was when like Iman was blowing up, like Joel Kaplan. There was like the whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
I think me making a video, I was 19, like I was making like 10 grand a month. So it was just like attractive. So people were just like, oh shoot, this guy's making money. He's young. And
Yeah.
I was also Asian too. Like not many Asian figures in SMMA at that point. So I think being Asian definitely was a plus in that case. But it was cool, but I made that like the decision to make the video did not help my business because people just started copying my business. Cause like I
Yeah.
literally put it all on blast. Like what I did, my ads, my cold outreach, my everything was on blast. But I only did it because I wanted to be known. That was the reason. I didn't do it because I knew it was gonna benefit the business.
Yeah.
And I kind of kept on doing that lead gen thing for another couple months. I was making like 7 to 10 every month. And it changed when I partnered up with the business that really blew up was the content agency, like you mentioned. So we
Okay.
would do short form content. So that at that point, short form content was like the craze. And I had a partner with this guy named Austin Crispell, and he's like, what's smart when it comes to like content? Probably one of the smartest guy I know when it comes to making content. And he was doing around 25, 30 rand a month at that point revenue. And we partnered up because he's more like an ops product guy. And I like the sales and marketing guy. And we partnered up and we blew up. We went literally from $30,000, the next one we did $100,000, just like that.
Yeah.
And that was the first business that really hit it for me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was 19, $100,000 a month business.
Yeah.
And it was definitely cool. It's a cool moment.
What did that do for your lifestyle? Like, 19, what were some of the changes that you had?
Bro, I moved to Miami. The first thing I
Classic.
did first thing I did was I moved to Brickell, Miami. So, I was like, "Man, Imma live it up." And, okay, I didn't actually live it up that much. So, me and my other friend, Josh Rivera, we met at an event in the past, and we stayed in contact, and Josh, like at that point, Josh also doing okay, right? He's doing like 30, 40 grand a month, and we're like, "Hey, let's move to Miami." And we moved to Miami. We moved literally in a hard brickle in the SLS building. So that was probably the biggest lifestyle change, was just moving to Miami. And because I never live alone. Oh, I guess I live in a college dorm, but I never actually like move and pay rent because my parents paid for my college when the 1 year I went. And for the most part, I just stay at home after I dropped out. So it was like my first ever time actually moving out, paying rent, and going from like Houston, Sugarland, Texas to like Miami, Brickell. So
A little bit of a big change.
yeah, it's a little bit of a big change. I don't regret it. It was fun for what it is, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, moving to Miami, you had the business, doing short form content, and then from there, what was like the next step? Where'd you go from there?
So the next step after I moved to Miami was I actually left the content business. So when that time I think you mentioned there we landed Jeremy Miner as a client. So I started working with Jeremy Miner and that was super cool. But then when we started working with Jeremy Miner, we realized one like completely like massive flaw in our business was that the model that we ran. So in the past, we were running like pay ads, cold traffic, like high volume sales. We were doing like no, like 16 new clients a month. It was all done for you. It was a done for you offer for content, doing 30 to 60 videos a month. We film it, we script it, we post it for you. That is a lot. Like 16 new done for you client, doing all of that for them was a lot. Scale it without scaling our back end. So it was like a mess, right? Luckily, we didn't get slammed by chargeback, like somehow. Like we didn't get smoke. But it was we realized, okay, if you want to scale a done for you business, like every single big agency, the only way to scale is to It's not about getting even more client, it's to get better clientele. That's what you do. You need to find more journey miners.
Yep.
Oh, I realized, oh, the way that we've been running the business is not right. Now it has to be more on like referral, like making connection, like going around, shaking hands, kissing babies, go to different events to actually find people. So it's no longer like a high volume sales thing. It's more now it's more like low volume and finding good people.
Yeah.
So that was where I was like, man, that's not up my wheelhouse. Like I like the high volume sales game. I like running like boiler rooms to sell. And for like a whole month, we went to ClickFunnels Live. We went to different events, and I was just like, this is so boring. Like I miss just selling and running sales team.
Yeah.
That I left the business because it didn't make sense for me to be in the part of business anymore. And I thought, I'm like, hey, if it's gonna be referral only, I don't see why me being here. It's just gonna. But number one was I was like, even if it's gonna make me money, but it's gonna cut my development as an entrepreneur
Mhm.
because I'm like, I'm not really growing. I'm not really doing anything. Oh, and number two, I just didn't enjoy what I did. Like that was not what I wanted to do. I'm like, I don't want to go around and have to build all these connection, all this stuff like that. Like that was not up my wheelhouse. Now I can see like now that sounds fun. I'm like, man, that'd be cool to do that. But like back then, I was like, man, I don't want to do that. So that was the reason I left. And
So you got bought out, you transitioned. I know that at one point in time you did a little bit of door to door. Is that correct?
yeah, so after that, I go back to running lead gen agency. I was like, well, let me just do one thing that I know how to do, lead gen agency. I did it for like no, I did it for like 4 or 5 months doing different niches, different lead gen agency. Nothing crazy. I was probably making like 10 grand a month, right? I just know how to get clients, knows how to like send cold DM, cold messaging, run pay ads. So like I just know how to just make money. And but I'm like, man, what am I doing? I'm just doing all these. I don't really care with the client. I don't really care with the industry. Like, what am I doing? And I think it clicked for me. So the one good thing that came out from the YouTube was people start hitting me up for coaching, and I'm like, they start paying me. I'm like, whoa, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a guy pay me like $2,000 for an hour. And bro, my biggest coaching deal, someone paid me. I sold someone for $20,000 PIF. Can you wire me $20,000? It's like, bro, what? And for like from my time, like, bro, what? Like this make no sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool. I also didn't take that route because I'm like, this is also, I don't know how, but again, I just think it's gone. Just because if I went down the coaching route, I wouldn't be nearly half the person. Just I think I would be making money too easily.
Yeah.
So I didn't take that path, but I did have some coaching client. That's when I got into the growth operating model where you build sales team for coaching offers and stuff. I did that for like 3 months, made good money, and I was like, cool. I've been kind of just jumping around different things in high ticket. I want to commit to one thing and build like a massive business. So that was when I did solar. That was
Okay.
June 2024. Was I got into solar because I'm like, it was so funny. I was either gonna get into solar or insurance. That was two options. I picked solar over insurance. No, no, I actually was very glad I did solar just because it was so hard. Because we did virtual solar cold calling
Yeah.
and it was just tough. It was a tough thing to do. And imagine cold calling homeowners selling. So you about to say something?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, what was it like that made you decide to pick solar over insurance at the time?
I thought insurance was boring. I thought insurance sounds boring. Have to get licensed, regulated, and I'm like, man, that's not my thing. Like, I like solar, and one deal you can make $7,000. It's not like that. If you're a solar rep watching this video, or if you're considering like solar, is not it long term. I just don't like even every single solar guy knows that solar's not gonna last forever, right?
Yeah.
That was the one thing when I got into, I realized, and the pay takes so long. I'm like, bro, what am I doing? And you doing virtual solar? Like, imagine selling solar panel over the phone. Like, that's hard. Like, just selling a thing to their house. And we did it cold call. I'm not making excuses, bro. I really gave it all. I gave it my all with that business. I tried
Yeah.
my very best. And, bro, I paid different coaches, spent money on ads. I did everything. Like, genuinely, I've tried, like, really, really hard. That business grew me so much. Like it made me become like me today because it was like
Yeah.
so tough. Because before that, I think the issue was I was winning really fast. Like I got into business and boom, I started winning in 3 months. Like I post my first YouTube video, boom, 30,000 views. And I think I never actually learned how to say suffer and how to work for something. And that really taught me how to work. Like those 6 months, it was like, man, I was just grinding on the phone. It's just every single day for like 8, 10 hours a day of like straight dialing, just cold calling.
Yeah.
And we went door knock for a week. That was cool. And after we went door knock, I realized like, okay, because we actually closed like 3, 4 deals during that week door knocking. First time ever door knocking. I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, if I want to scale solar, I have to go door to door. Like all the biggest solar org does door to door. They don't do virtual. And I got to that point, like, I don't want to do door to door. I would rather go virtual. So that's when I I hit up PBD, funny enough. I know you know the app Manek. You can text
Yeah.
PBD on Manek, and I'll show you the message right now. I'm not gonna play the message, it's pretty long, but this is why I texted them. That'd be good. So this is literally the text. This is the text. November 25th. This is 2020 PBD. Essentially, you can read it. You can pause and read it. But I gave him my life story and I asked him, should I do so? I'm doing solar right now. Should I do insurance? So that was after my best month in solar. I was like, I grinded out. I think that month ended with $25,000. And I think I net like 20, maybe 18. So I'm like, man, like that was a lot. I worked so hard just to make like 18,000 bucks. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shoot. And that's why I started looking to insurance and talked to PBD. I like thought about it. I'm like, I think this is it. Like insurance way more long term and then boom. I got into the industry after that. So yeah.
Did you find like just one insurance company and jump right in, or did you go around and vet some insurance companies?
I look at a couple, like the big ones. Funny enough, I didn't even look at Unitrust. I look at AIL, FFL, Pinnacle, a couple more. I was about to go with AIL, so Globe Life.
Yeah.
Thank God they go with Globe. So you watch this video. If you looking to go with Globe right now, watch this video. Don't do it. So it's I was about to go with Globe because they were pushing like free leads, blah blah blah. I'm like, man, that sounds kind of cool. So the day that everything changed was when I met Spencer. I think you had Spencer on the show before, right?
Yes. Yeah. He'll be in at the very end. If you guys want to meet Spencer, he'll be in a video that's over here on the left hand side.
So you guys should definitely check that out. And Spencer recruited me into Unitrust, and the rest was history. Like, I'm so glad that that call happened, and I'm here at Unitrust because last year was like a life changing year for me. Not even because of the money, like I make good money, but it's just for the first time ever, I feel like, man, I can actually build a career. You know, like I'm not just here to make some side hustle money. I'm not just here to just like do this, run it up. I'm like, I can see myself being here for 10 years for like, and actually build a good career out of here. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you trust and everything like that. So it's been great.
Tony, going back to, you had mentioned that you were wanting to go with Globe Life, and then you saw Unitrust, and you'd made the comment like, so what like makes you thankful that you didn't go with Globe Life? Like obviously on this side of the pendulum now, looking back.
I would say a couple of reasons. I think Globe Life, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Globe Life is bad, just so you know. I think Globe Life is good for depends on what you are. Like the free leads model, it is good. I think it's good for beginners too. Like if you're like brand new, if you don't know what's going on, I could see Globe Life not be like, especially if you can't keep yourself self accountable. I think working for a company where like give you leads, force you to call, that might be good for you, like for certain people. Because if you haven't learned the skill to be self accountable, probably won't make it in a brokerage model. Because in the brokerage model, you're essentially your own boss, right? Me and you, no one tell us what to do. We show up every single day because we want to. So I realized that I'm like, okay, this model rewards people. Again, you can also be self-accountable in AIL and stuff, but for me, I'm like, I want to run my own business. At Globe, you don't own your book of business. It's not your own business. You're working for Globe, right?
Can
So
you
that's the big
explain that a little bit for people that might not understand exactly what that is?
yeah. So in the insurance space, there's like captive and non-captive. So captive is like Globe Life, meaning you only work with one insurance company, and that's Globe. Non-captive, you're essentially a brokerage, right? So with Unitrust is a brokerage. We have access to a bunch of different insurance company, and when you like get contracted with Unitrust, you get access to all of them. And
Now,
then when you
what's the
sell,
benefit of
yeah,
having access to more carriers? Like, what's for someone that doesn't know anything about insurance? Like, why is that beneficial?
there's a lot. I mean, number one, I think that's how you best serve the client, right? Like, we'll almost every single time beat globe live price just because we have more access. Like, we can shop around for people, find the best rate. Because you have to understand, every single person with different health condition get different prices with different carriers. So if you only have one carrier, then how will you know they're having the best rate? That's number one, right? Number two, it also give you access to more product to sell. So with more product, not just the price, but then now you can serve the client at the like a way better scale. And with Unitrust, obviously, we're rolling out not just selling in life insurance, but they're doing annuity, right? We're doing like retirement solutions, everything like that. Like there's just so much more because it
Yeah.
is your own book of business. So I think because of that, you can do more. That's
Now
pretty
you
much.
kind of mentioned some things that Unitrust is rolling out, and we actually haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. But you mentioned annuities. It's kind of like that, like click word inside of insurance. You see a lot of people on social media talking about annuities. They have big cases. But one of the things that at least I've learned from the rollout is that a lot of annuities are done wrong, and
Mm,
sometimes people are afraid to maybe look at them or be able to encourage them because they don't have that knowledge. Do you want to give a little insight on what Unitrust is doing with that aspect of the business?
The funny thing is, I don't know annuity really, but the best part about it is because I don't need to know. So with Unitrust, what they do is that they have a team of financial advisor, and what we do is when you sell someone life insurance, you can just refer them to the financial advisor. So when you ask me like what's annuity, I'm like I don't even know. But the thing is, I don't need to know. So it's just again, I know we're talking about a lot of you about Unitrust, but they have built it. I think what the way that Unitrust and the founder has been building this, it reminds me a lot of Jeff Bezos and how he built Amazon. Also, you guys know one of them is obvious, but Amazon was built very. The whole thing was if you guys read like one of the older shareholder like letters from Jeff when he first started Amazon, it was always about how can we become the most customer centric company? How we become the company where we make sure the customers like the best service, best delivery, best product. It's always about being the most customer centric company when it comes
Yeah.
to Amazon. That's how Jeff thought about it. And I think Unitrust is that. They want to make the again, they never say that publicly, but from what they do, it really looks like they want to make the most agent centric brokerage there is, like IMOs, right? Because whether it's the lease subsidies program, whether it's a fight like the reset team to help you with retirement solution, they're also having on a customer service team to make sure that if you have refunds, anything like that, they can call your client for you, make sure the business get back on the books. Like there's just a lot that they're building out to make sure the agent can win as easy as possible. And when you see that, you feel confident because I can tell you, I'm not like an ops guy, right? Maybe you are, Jay. You're like crazy ops, but I'm like, if you just let me do my thing of just selling, recruiting people, making content, doing all these things, talking in front of crowds, everything like that, I will crush it. Like that from the 3 years so far of me doing so, I feel that is my strength.
Yeah.
And it's just good knowing that, okay, I have a company, Unitrust, as like the backbone for my business that does all the ops so that I can just do what I'm good at and just plug people in. So I would say that's, you know, it's a long-winded answer to your annuity question, but
Yeah, yeah, no, I think that's very important. Like the company's really done a great job of just surrounding the agents, being able to provide the best like sandbox to be able to build. Dominic DeFranco mentioned on the podcast that it's like insurance in a box, and they really give you the business in a box model. One thing I want to talk about is your journey inside of the business. You've been in for about a year now. Is that
it's exactly a year. I think I started, let me check right now, actually, like January 5th. Let me see.
okay?
Around there. So I think January 5th was my first dial, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Okay, so a little over a year now. Let's talk about like where your business is currently at and then what it took you to kind of get there. That way, some of the listeners might be wanting to build an agency like you have. And, fun fact, spoiler alert, he's built a really big agency. Excited to excited to learn this
Okay.
process.
I think I've done okay for myself. I think in the first year we grew to $400,000 a month with the agency. And man, it's been great. Like I think I've done a lot of things right right last year, a lot of things wrong. And I mean how much time we have for this? I'm more than happy to share.
Dude, this is like the bread and butter. Like I'd love to some things that I wanna highlight is as an agent, like you've been extremely successful. You've done like what's the biggest month that you've done?
50,000, I think. 40, either 47, 50,000. One or two number. I don't.
And with being able to achieve that, like what did your schedule look like to be able to achieve a, $50,000 month?
Yeah, so funny enough, when I did that, I was only selling 4 days a week. And again, look, I know it sounds I'm trying to sell you. It's legit, legit, legit. So I only sold for Monday. So I only okay. I did some follow-ups and stuff on Friday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was when I was buying leads. And I like really go hard selling. 4 days a week. That's all I did. And on those days, it sounds like insane, but I did 8 to 10, Central Time, so 8 to 10 Central Time, I call. I know Unit Trust always say do 3 hour, but we won't. I didn't know that because I was being dumb, but I did 2 hours, 8 to 10, and then from 10 to, like, 1 PM, I don't even know what I did, like, I was just kinda like maybe I did recruiting call here and there, and most of the time I either did recruiting call, lunch, or I just, like, learning stuff during those hours. So those are, like, my 3 hours that I, like, work on the business, and from, like, 1 to 7 maybe 7:30, 8 PM someday, but 1 to 7 is when I was taking sales call, and that was my schedule. So it was probably like 8, 9 hours of actual like selling time, 4 days a week. And on Friday, I usually do like any follow-ups, any no-show that I need to get through that I haven't gone through yet was Friday. But like like Monday to Thursday, I did that. And again, man, like I think I kept it very like it's not hard to be a top producer at Unitrust realistically. Like if you're so the thing that changed was 'cause the first 4 months for me was pretty rough. I'll say that. Like I averaged around $11,000 in AP a month for the first 4 months. And I wasn't doing like $1,000 AP sounds like a lot, just so you know, but like you don't profit all of that, right? Obviously there's lead upfront costs and everything like that, charge back. So that's just really out of the business. And also I was also new. So I didn't really know how to sell properly. So I was getting more charge back in the beginning. So I think the change happened was after April, I was like, number one, I met the founder of Unitrust in person. That was the one thing. I think that really gave me conviction on like
Yeah.
the business. I'm like, okay, cool. He kind of knows what he's doing. And that was a good sign. The second thing was my intention got very clear. I think a lot of it, like whenever most people don't get to where they want because their focus level is just not there. Like, I think for the first 4 months, like I was trying like cold DM for agent. I was selling, but like my mind was not in it. I was getting on random phone call with people doing. I was working. Like the business still grew, but
Yeah.
I didn't put up crazy numbers just because my focus was off. Right. So I think the moment everything changed was I remember there was a moment and I was like, man, I don't know why, but I think there's moments in life where it gets so clear what it takes to get to your goal. So my goal at that point was I want to build an agency that's $100 million a year, right? Nine figure. And that was my goal. And it became so clear what like, it's like, man, what it takes me to get to that point is going to be so hard. Like if I go down this route, I can probably make, you know, build, make 30, 40, 50 grand a month and be chill, whatever. But I'm like, man, $100 million, it's a lot. And I remember it became like it felt so far that I'm like, I don't even know if I could do it. So that's when I wasn't, and this is a crazy story. I wasn't even a believer back then. I know I got like baby Jesus here, but back then I wasn't a believer. But I go on my knee and I pray. Like it was like a genuine prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like there's prayer you say that you kind of mean it, but there's like those like prayer that you really mean it. Like that was like because I think the path got so clear and I was like, I don't know if I can actually do it by myself. That's why I pray.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know who I prayed to. I believe in God, but at that point I didn't believe in anyone. I was just like, okay, I think there is a God. So I just pray. After that, the business blew up. I think one, I think I got very aligned spiritually, but also my focus was very aligned. I go into that month, I'm like, let me just I didn't actively try to recruit anymore. I'm like, what if I just sell? And if any recruiting opportunity comes, it comes. Who cares? But what if I just put my blinders on and sell? And boom, like everything's just changed after that. So, but yeah, but I only sold for 4 days. I didn't do 6, 7 days a week selling, which is crazy.
Which is It's funny. I've heard some people that do like, 5, 6 days a week to be able to achieve that. I've heard some people that work, 3, 4 days a week to achieve, pretty big numbers, which is, I think a lot of it comes down to discipline when talking to everyone. I know that you're pretty big on self-development, reading books and doing some things like that. When thinking about getting into like, getting more discipline, being able to really align that faith, what type of self-development were you doing at that time to be able to, keep yourself on like a schedule and more consistent?
Makes sense. So I think number one, you have to make personal development like a way of life. All the guys I think win the biggest, they read a lot of books, they consume an insane amount of like self-building content, and they reflect a lot. And that's what I found. Like the three types, like three things that they usually do. Really just two. They consume a lot, not like to the point where it's like mental masturbation, you're not working, right? But at that point, I I I found myself going season. So every couple months, I'm like watching someone new and I'm like go really deep with them. At that point, it was PBD. So I watched a lot of Patrick Bet-David and Brandon Bouchard. So I don't know if you don't know Brandon Bouchard, but it was mainly Patrick Bet-David. And I was watching those old Patrick Bet-David videos when he was like talking more business stuff. And man, that got me fired up every day. The thing is, when you make self-improvement a way of life, it's not even the thing I have to force myself to do. It's just what I do. It's just
Yeah.
whenever I'm eating, I'm just watching something. And whether I'm listening to some podcasts, right? I know like the founder podcast. If you don't listen to the founders podcast is fire, right? It's like it's so many things that I do now, and it's just constantly feeding my brain that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it changed with the season. So like Patrick David was like a big part of it. And
Yeah.
then it was I started studying a lot of athletes recently, which is cool, like Tiger, MJ, even Nick Saban. I think I've been studying a lot of Nick Saban as a coach for Alabama. Like he has a successful career.
When you say study them, like what do you mean by that?
Whether I watch interviews, like stories about them, stories. I think I love reading stories about them because I think it's different when you hear someone say something. Like I can tell you to work harder, or I can tell you a story of how I work hard for like it's very different. So
Yeah.
just ask. I literally just asked ChatGPT, like, tell me stories about Tiger Woods. So like instead of
Um,
you going and listen to all these interviews, I literally just asked ChatGPT, tell me a story about Tiger Woods you should think it's helpful for me to know. And it's just story, 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 story. I just read it. It's like low key weird, but like it's it
yeah.
but it works. I think people will learn better. So here's the thing. If you want to learn something, you learn better by watching someone do something rather than just listening to the instruction. So there's a book called The Inner Game of Tennis. It talks about that concept of how let's say you want to play good tennis. If I feel like okay, hit it harder or like hit it correctly, the way to learn how to play tennis well is to watch someone good playing tennis and try to mimic and watch yourself play and let yourself course correct, right? So it's like the best salespeople I know when if you watch this video, you sales guy, the best sales call you've had is not it's the one where you're just like in flow state. Like you're just there, you're fully present, you're flow state, you're having fun, you're making jokes. Like it just feels to the point where someone asks you like, "How do you do that?" At the end of the call, you're like, "I don't even know." Like actually, it just came out. That's what you
Yeah.
want to get to, and you don't get there by telling yourself what to do. Like, if you always critiquing yourself, telling yourself, "I need to do this." Oh man, like let me try to sound like this. You already like it's already gone. Like if you want to be really good at selling, it has to be like you have to learn how to get yourself in flow state more. Yeah, I know I always do long with an answer for my to make it make sense. But in the book, it talks about again, you learn better if you just see someone does it. That's why if you want to learn instead of just hearing someone tell you how to work hard, like reading stories really help you internalize more of like, oh shoot, like he was working, man, he was like hitting golf balls at like 2 a.m. Like he was doing some psychology stuff, right? Just to make sure he can get better. But hearing those stories, well, that will ingrain your brain way more than just being like, oh, Tiger works really hard. So that's what I did. Like I kind of just asked ChatGPT to tell me a bunch of stories and I just read it over and over again.
It's good. Dude, I was reading the inner game of tennis a couple weeks back, and one of the things that they were going through an exercise, and they wanted him to hit like a specific type of a shot in the
Yeah.
training, and they were like, "Hey, like do this, do that." and he was so focused on doing it that he wasn't able to hit the shot, but then they're like, "Hey, like, just swing."
Yeah, just wait.
And focus on where, like, you want the ball, like, get the ball over there. And then it was like, "Okay," and then he'd be able to do it, like, 4 or 5, 6 times,
Yep.
and then he'd go, "Okay, now try and do it." And every time he would, like, super try and do it, it wasn't happening. But when he was just having fun with it, when he was just going through the motion and having that repetitive motion, it started to work a lot better, and that, like, kinda just, like, clicked for me of where it's like, man, like, sometimes in life, I feel like I'm trying too hard in certain areas, and where it's just not coming because it's like I'm too focused on this or that instead of just letting my natural ability take over and just like flow through it.
100%. I think, even with when it comes to your day to day, like working hard, I think I worked the hardest when I wasn't trying to work the hardest. When I was trying, like, I'm gonna work really hard. Like, I actually, my productivity goes down. I beat myself over more. I feel more miserable. It's when you're just in that flow state and you just let yourself course, like, you watch someone work hard, right? So let's just say I will watch a Ryan Serhant video of him going through his day. That dude worked like, if you want to see someone who works hard, that dude works like a dog. Like
Yep.
4, he will wake up at 4 and be in bed at like 11. Like he will be finished at like 11, 4 to 11 day. I'm like, bro, what? And seeing that, like seeing how it operates through his day, that teach me how to work hard more than anything. So I think this is a very, very underrated way to learn. It's just learn more story. That's why reading, like, what's it called? Biography? Yeah, biography. It's very, like, it's helpful because you want to see how people, like, actual story of people doing stuff rather than just listening to what them tell you. Like, watching this video, like, you might pick up some things from what I'm saying here, but you see me, what I do during the day, you probably pick up way more if you just
Yeah.
watch it. So I think that's the key part, key thing.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I was this thought just came to mind of, joining a business like insurance, and you don't have to join insurance, but any type of business where you can go learn from someone else to kind of like jump through the mistakes, learn the hurdles, and be able to learn how to actually run a business first before you go and run your own business. Probably going to be more successful than going through the all the failures yourself. Yeah.
So I have this take. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on this. So what we are is like we're kind of like entrepreneur, right? So we're entrepreneur within unit trust. And I used to be like, dog, I want to be an entrepreneur, bro. This guy, but that's just pride, right? And I realized, man, there's no like what we do right now. I can't see why if you're young, if you're newer to your career, even if you're 30, 35, 40, that's still very new, right? But if you're young, if you're new, if you I can't see why you don't want to be like entrepreneur. One, glorify this entrepreneurship dream. I'm like, what you're doing, you're just zapping your development curve. Like you can pay for coaching programs and stuff, but it's not the same. It's not the same when you work. It's like, think of it this way. You could at Unitrust, the best guy at Unitrust make $250,000 a month, or $1 million a month, right? Income. It's a lot of money. You get access to like a vehicle where you can make that much money, but also be an entrepreneur and work in a bigger system and actually learn how a big company runs. I've seen
Yeah.
so many like solopreneur making 20, 30 grand a month. I'm like, you guys don't get gap like years from now just because you are zapping your development curve. Because you might be making money now, but how do you know, like, how can you possibly know how a big company runs? How can you possibly know to scale if you never actually seen it? So I think is you're so right. The business in itself is built so that you can make a lot of money, but also get the mentorship. It's kind of like this. Like, imagine you're a high performance sales rep. Let's say you're making 10, 15 grand a month, even 20 grand a month. And you're like, okay, I'm making a lot of money in sales. Maybe I'll start my own business. Why? Like, this is a way better model. I might be very biased here. Probably am. But it's number one, you can make entrepreneurship money. You can make business owner money without taking business owner risk. Number two, you can also learn. That's another big thing. It's like even if you make the same amount of money, let's say I make the same amount of money as someone else who's a solopreneur the next 5 years. Let's just say that. I will come out with way more knowledge because when you work in a big system, number one, you're exposed to way more people. You learn to deal with way more personality. I became like a way better leader the last year just because you're working with this guy who's above you, this guy who below you, this guy who across you. You're like, okay, like every single person has different personality. Like I need to learn to do this guy. Like it teaches you way more people skill.
Yeah.
It teaches you how big business operate. And number three, it teaches you to strip away your pride when it comes to building the business. Because this is another story from Ben Francis. Like, yep, you probably know Ben Francis, Gymshark, right? He's the founder of Gymshark, and at one point he has to step down from CEO because he realized him being CEO at his age was not what the business needed. It was a very, very hard decision because he was like, "Man, this is like my baby. Like it's like a pride thing." And eventually he came to the conclusion, like Gymshark and Ben Francis are two different things. You can like so many people make the business their identity, but being an entrepreneur, you learn how to succeed without making it your identity. You learn how to succeed in a business and also be born to bigger vision. And I think that's an underrated skill because if you want to build the biggest business possible, I'm not talking like eight figure. That's baby numbers. I'm talking like JP Morgan, for example.
Yeah.
Like the CEO of JP Morgan, he's not getting emotional about his decision because he needs to meet his needs. Like he's very like you should. His name is Jamie Dimon. That's a good guy to study too. But it's it's just very you look at the business very clear because you already learned the skill to not make the business like your thing because you worked in a
Absolutely.
bigger business before. Like I know it's a long-winded thing. If y'all actually watch that, understand that part, I just say on how like being an entrepreneur is so much better. Unless you're already in the game for a long time. But truly, if you have big vision for yourself, and right now you're a solopreneur or you're a high performance sales rep, why do you want to do that? Right? It's like if you're a high performance sales rep and want to start your own business, just become an entrepreneur. Learn how to work with a bunch of people. So when you do start your own business, you are way better equipped to build something massive. Again, I just think I think I'm very biased. I've learned a lot, like outside the money. Like I grew so much as a human being last year that I'm just like, man, this business is like undefeated. Seriously.
I'm just gonna point out again, he's 22. He's talking like he's like 40 right now. I mean, it just shows like the development that he's had. And like I think one of the I think the important things is this is coming from someone who ran his own business at 19, someone that was very successful, was able to help maybe one of the biggest names in the coaching space. That then got into this business, and he's specifically saying that this business would make more sense and you'd be more successful to join a business like this and be an entrepreneur and learn from someone else than go out and do your own thing and fail because you have no mentors unless you pay for them.
100%. And I think there's a misconception that people always say, like, oh, if I work for someone, I'm sacrificing my short term income. That's not even true with being insurance. The thing is, the business model is so genius because people are still like, we're both business owner. We're both like, we're 1099. We're not working for Unitrust, but what, which is in a bigger system. We have to learn how to work within a big system. Because I can tell you that's how big business runs. Eventually, the biggest business, everyone kind of have their free will, but somehow, some way, they all bond to one vision. But it's like even at Unitrust, you're not taking a like income cut, right? Because you still own your business, but you still get that benefits of learning, being a part of bigger. Like Unitrust gonna be $1 billion company, I believe that. So it's like, man, we're really seeing the growth from a company doing 60, $80 million a year, how it grows from 60, $80 million a year to be $1 billion company. And again, and I think everyone ambition is different too. Like I truly want to build something massive, like not like a coaching program doing, $500,000 a month. That's not what I want to do. Like I truly want to do something massive. I want to build something cool. Like I love the game. It's not just for the money. Like I generally love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just don't see how another business model would make more sense than doing this. Especially if you're young. Man, if you're young and think about starting your own business, I don't think it's worth it. Genuinely. From someone who has so much pride and started their own business in the past, it's just go like insurance is good. If you want to become a real estate agent, that's good because you still kind of like your own business owner, but you have to work with a bigger company. I like insurance because it's remote, it's scalable. You can scale to 50 state really easily. But it's just something where you get so many learning lessons, and also your short-term income is not cut and your long-term income is still like uncapped. And I don't know. I think it's great personally. So yeah.
I think all of this was incredible, and specifically, I see that there's a big movement going on in this country where college isn't necessarily the answer anymore. it's not the way that, majority of the people might be wanting to go, but they don't really see necessarily an out. And from someone that, started entrepreneurship at a very young age, what would you say specifically to someone that is, finishing up high school, not knowing where they want to go? And, is kind of like contemplating the differences of maybe like college, because you had a little bit of that experience and dropped out. And then, coming into entrepreneurship.
It's I used to be so anti-college. I still kind of like I think I'm anti people thinking that you need college to make money. You don't need college to make money. You can make money doing a lot of things in America, right? Like if you think a college degree or PhD, it's what you need to make money, you're wrong. I think even Elon, I think he calls it false requirement. This is a term he coined, but it's along the line of Elon calls it false requirement. A lot of people think that I need to do this first. I need to have a PhD. I need to have this and that and that for me to do this thing. And if you really sit down and think, a lot of things that you think you need to have for you to have something is probably not true, right? So, and I can tell you from my experience, you don't need a college degree to make a lot of money, right? Not needed at all. But there is pros to college because number one, socially, it's way easier to have friends in college. Like it's not even close, right?
Yeah.
Like when I dropped down started my own business, I was lonely for like a year. It sucks. But that's why it's like that's why entrepreneurs start in the beginning.
Yeah.
And also, I used to look at guys who go to college and be like, man, this guy's a bum. And now I'm like, is he though? It's so hard to judge now just because you just never know. You just never know what someone is going to become, right? It's again, like even though the story it's like again the guy Jamie Dimon. He's a CEO of JP Morgan. This guy's probably the best banker in America. This guy's been CEO of JP Morgan for 17 years, 18 years now, something like that. For the first 17 years of his professional career, he was a personal assistant for someone. Obviously, this guy was like very, very high up executive at American
Yeah.
Express, I'm pretty sure. So the guy who was a personal assistant to was like a executive at American Express, but he was working for someone for 17 years. Now that dude is worth like $1 billion. So it's like I could look at that guy, man. You're a personal assistant to someone. You're not being me. Who knows? So it's like it's so hard and maybe this is a good thing for you guys. If you're looking at some people in your life right now and you're like, I'm doing better than this guy, on what timeline are we looking at? Right? You might doing better than him right now. Who knows? Like I used to look at all my friends who go to college and I'm like, I'm so much better than you. I'm making more money than you. I'm living a better life than you. And now I'm like, I don't know. Who knows? So I used to be more anti-college. Now I'm more so anti if you think college is needed to make money, then you're definitely wrong. But
Yeah.
if you go to college, get a degree, whatever it is, especially if it's paid for, it's not like it's not the worst thing ever because objectively, you get out, you're 22, right? You get out of college, you're 22, you're still super young. Like
Yeah.
object, even as a study, your most productive years is like I think it was 50 to 60, something like that. Like
Yep.
what I accomplished from now. So like even now, when you were like, man, I'm doing really well, I'm making a bunch of money, whatever. I'm like, whatever I'm accomplishing right now in the next 20 years, so from 22 to 45 will be nothing compared to from 45 to 65. So I'm like, you just never know how what someone's gonna do in the future. So, but
So
yeah,
true.
I would say if you go into college because you're like, I need a degree to make money, you don't. I want to challenge that thinking. You can make money with a lot of different ways for sure.
Absolutely. My only advice for like people wanting to go to college is network the crap out of it. Like
Yeah,
literally just network as much as possible. Get with like if you're going to a big college, find the networks of all the people that graduated. Any number that you get, write out like first name, last name, and where you know them from. Because
bro.
5, 6 years down the road, you're gonna
So
want to hit
good,
them up.
so good, bro. Bro, I look at my contact list now, like recently, because I was looking to like expand my team. I'm like, let me look at my and I'm like, bro, who are these people? Like, I don't even know a lot of them. It's terrible. But
Dude, I started that. I have some of my best friends that I have like their first and last name and then where I know them from. And they're like, are you serious? Like, that's what my contact. And I'm like, dude, that's how I know you from. And I don't change the contact. Like, I know
so
exactly
good,
who it
man.
is.
So good. And with Jesse Itzer, he does one more thing. He also adds something interesting about them. So like, let's just say if you meet someone who, let's say you meet me and then like you know I'm about to run a marathon. Imagine you meet me one time. I told you I'm running a marathon, and you text me on marathon day. Hey, good luck on your marathon. I would be like, this guy remember? Like that was 3 months ago. Oh, I think yeah, like for sure. Like people really underestimate the power of your network. Like you just again. You might know the next freaking president in your contact list for all you know, you just don't know.
There's lot of power in the network, which is incredible. Well, Tony, any last words for someone that is, sitting here still engaged and is just like, hey, look, this is something that I'm definitely interested in, and I'm just wanting to know more about how to get into it.
Well, first of all, you still engaged after that was a lot. Like we went like I don't even know where we went to a whole different thing. Like that was just if you watch this and you still engage, um, just hit up Jared, bro. It's like let me say this. Let me say what this who is this not for? How about that? You're watching this, you think this is for me? I'm gonna tell you who this is not for. Okay, if you're someone who's never learned to be self accountable yet, and I know you're probably thinking I am self accountable. Trust me, that you're gonna struggle when you come in. Like every single person I talk to, who's like, no, I'm hardworking, blah blah blah. Every single person slipped up, and it's fine, right? But if you can't hold yourself self accountable in doing things, if you don't have a track record of holding yourself self accountable, whether it's like working out, staying on a diet, something like that, this business is gonna be pretty rough for you because Jared, I guarantee you, he's not a baby you until throughout the process. He's gonna throw into the system. You're gonna have to figure it out, and he's gonna help you unless only if you want to help yourself. That's number one. Number two, if you're like a entrepreneurial sales rep and you like, man, I think I can really do this, but your ego is massive and you're not willing to go in and actually leverage the system, this is not for you. Because I don't even, I mean, I bet if you get on an interview call with Jared, he probably tell you not to join if you're trying to go change the whole system. Like it's just not, it's not worth it because that's not how, again, that's not how institutions built, right? The US built on one thing, the Constitution, law. Like it has been forever. US has one system that's been built on. So like every single big thing is built on a system that everyone collectively agreed to run. And I'm not saying this no flaw, but the US is a pretty great country. Right? If you can't follow a system, this is not a place for you. I would say that. And lastly, if you want quick wins, I say, because and I think Jared can speak on this too. This business takes time, right? What I've learned was to make money 1 month versus making money consistently is two different skills. It's not even close. It's not even the same thing, right? And I think the skill you need to like if you want to make money consistently, that skill takes a longer time to acquire than to make money in 1 month. Like both me and Jared can go back to high ticket right now, launch a coaching offer, and boom, within 3 months we'll probably be doing half like over 100K a month, easy, right? And but like we know it's gonna burn, it's gonna crash and burn. That's why we're in insurance. That's why we're looking to build something longer. It took me like 4 months to really even now, bro, like I'm still making so much mistake and I still feel like I'm just getting started. So it's definitely a very, very long game. And if you can't think past like a quarter, it's gonna be rough. So it's like when I got to insurance, I committed. Like that I can tell you that. Like it was like I'm making this work. Like, this is the business I'm looking to build a business long term here. If you even thinking like, let me go try insurance out for 3 months, let me try see if it works. It probably won't work. If you're one of those three people, I don't think this business is for you. I'm not saying you probably won't succeed, but objectively, from what I found, based on the people I brought on, you won't have the best time here for sure.
Yeah, I think that's all very true. It's definitely like long-term business. One of the big things that Tony and I talked about, we were on quite a few runs and it was, 3 to 5 year mindset. And it's really difficult to try and develop that on like what's the next 3 to 5 years going to look like. There's so many things that are out of your control, but understanding that, okay, you might not make 10, 15, 20K right off the bat, but in the next 3 to 5 years, like could you be making 50 to 100 grand? Yes. Like, it just based on time, and that's is it gonna take you 3 years to do that? You could do it in your 1st year,
Yeah,
or you could do it on your 3rd year. But in reality, like, if you go in almost any other direction, like, it's going to take some amount of time and effort to get to that level, and you're gonna go through a lot of failure.
100%.
And staying consistent is just super important, and that's kind of the mindset that you have to have is the consistency.
Yeah, 100%. I think 3 or 5 years. I think 3 years is a healthy place to set a goal. I think another thing about setting goals is that you don't have to know all the details. Just be direction. It's better for you to be directionally right. Man, I already talking about goal setting. It's a whole nother topic that I've been studying a lot. But just you have to understand if you don't have a goal yet, also set a goal. Like your goal dictates what you do today. If you don't know your goal, you don't actually really know what you're doing. So get clear on your goal. It doesn't have to be like, man, I will have this many agent. It doesn't have to be specific. Just clear, like at least clear on your personal life. Okay, where I want to live, what car, who I'm married to, what type of wife. Like get clear on that first. And I think most would do know that. And then from there, the more you work, the more data you have, the goal in itself become more clear. So
So
yeah,
good. Tony, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. So much knowledge, so many nuggets, and just about entrepreneurship. And
thank you.
dude, I appreciate you. And I'm excited to just not even have you back on the podcast again because there's so much value that you have and just been able to develop and learn and see where you're going. And then, guys, if you guys are looking to learn more about insurance and be able to hear about some of the podcasts we talked about, there's going to be a couple links here and here to be able to look at it. And Tony, what is your Instagram if someone wants to follow along? You have great videos that you put up.
Yep, it will just be my Instagram at Tony Lee, so TonyLE, so my name. And then I'll be posting more YouTube videos this year. That's one of my goal. So you can check out on there too.
Drop the links down below. I'll get them from Tony and be able to get you guys hooked up. Well, Tony, once again, thank you so much for joining the podcast. And, I hope you guys got a lot of good nuggets out of it. And we'll see you guys next time.